Hi, here in this video, let's discuss about Canadian literature. Canadian literature, the body of written books produced by Canadians, reflecting the country's dual origin and its official bilingualism. The literature of Canada can be split into two major divisions, English and French. Canadian literature is the literature of a multicultural country written in languages including Canadian English, Canadian French, Indigenous languages, and many others, such as Canadian Gaelic. Influences on Canadian writers are broad, both geographically and historically, representing Canada's diversity in culture and region. What are the major themes of Canadian literature? We identify six dominant themes of the expression of nature in Canadian literature. 1. Humans as a part of nature. 2. A bounty of natural resources. 3. Fear of an adversarial wilderness. 4. Improvement of nature. 5. Regret of environmental damage and perhaps despair of the future. Most of the critics have raised the themes of nationalism and the region in Canadian literature. These authors portrayed Canada as a physical desert, a cultural wasteland, and a raw land of investment opportunity and a resource extraction. In the early 17th century, Canadian literature began to come into existence in the form of exploration literature with the Jacobean poetry in Newfoundland and with epistolary fiction of the English garrison community in Quebec. From 1867 to 1914, Canadian literature turned much towards Confederation, and during the 5 decades following, much attention turned to literary and political organization. In the end of the 19th century, advocates of women's suffrage and prohibition wrote stories and essays on issues of social transformation. The fiction of 1920s kept on the convention of class distinction, while in 1930s, anti-war and class critique novels began to appear that focused on uprooted or marginalized individuals and pangs of non-English speaking immigrants. After 1960s, Canadian society received a high development in the field of literature because of the impression of many countries due to immigration policies, cultural hybridity that completely changed the convention definitions of ethnic purity and fixed identity. Rickler, Alice Munro, Mavis Gallant, Alastair MacLeod, Clark Bice, and numerous others became very famous authors of this age.